Good evening, everybody. Welcome to ArtStreamLIVE. I'm Kurt Thomas.
David Simmons.
Welcome to the June edition of ArtStreamLIVE. We're a weekend later than usual. We usually hit the first Saturday of the month, but we had a fishing trip come up, and when a fishing trip comes up, you gotta go fishing.
Hey, when the snapper call.
The snapper call, we answer. So we're back tonight. Charles couldn't be with us tonight. Charles Smith, he's got a art project he's working on, pretty big deal. When it develops, we're going to let you know more about it. But we've got him back here over our shoulder tonight with us in David's portrait. So we've got a lot to show you tonight. We're kind of getting back into the ArtStreamLIVE treasure vault of art techniques. I think there'll be some fun things to learn. David's got a little bit he wants to share with you about what's coming up tonight.
I've got a little video here with some miniature colored pencil drawings that I've done, and these can be purchased framed, completely framed, ready to hang, and this is just for reference sake. That's the size of it unframed, and Boudreaux, if you run that video so they can see them close up and personal.
Those are 8 by 8, I believe.
8 by 8 inches. Okay, I want to remind everybody at the top of the screen there are phone numbers to call for each of us if you want to purchase or have artwork by any of us. If you have any questions you'd like to ask about anything that you see or hear, or just any question you'd like to ask an artist, you can call those numbers, or you can email us through that email address, ArtStreamLIVE at gmail.com. Kurt?
Okay, and one thing too, just to remind you, you can always check us out at our Facebook page, ArtStreamLIVE on Facebook. Go to ArtStreamLIVE.com, our webpage. And I want to take a minute just to thank the folks. I know we've noticed that folks are signing up at our Facebook page on ArtStreamLIVE. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. And to the Ustream page where we have recorded archives. We noticed a lot of folks watching those too. So we really appreciate all that. Now, like I talked about earlier, we're going to get in tonight. I like to call it the treasure vault of art techniques, the ArtStream Live treasure vault. And I want to show you something. I want to ask you a question tonight. Let me get up here close. Do you believe I could make a silk screen with an oil pastel crayon? Sheet of sandpaper? Silk screen stencil, a screen, and a squeegee? Well, you sure can, and I'm going to show you how to do it tonight. So what's coming up next? We'll give you an idea how you can use these things to make some art, but first I'm going to have Boudreaux go to some of my artwork to show you actual silk screens I made using the materials I just showed you. Okay, Boudreaux, go to that for me. This is a piece I did with the tush resist technique, which I'm going to show in a little bit how you do that. So you get a lot of good texture in the artwork using this technique. That's one of the nice things about it. Sandcastle piece I did 30 stencils to make that. I use sandpaper to get the texture into the silk screen. I'll show you how to do that tonight. If you can look in the background here, you'll see different types of texture that I picked up by pieces of embossed mat board of all things. Actually, it's a rubbing technique that you use to get texture into the screen to print it. Same thing here, hand-painted tush resist gives a lot of neat effects. Plus the beauty of it, you can lay color over color, transparency over opaque. Another example of texture running through the piece using this technique. It's a wonderful technique, like I said, for picking up texture. The whole sky, water, the rocks, everything done with resist technique stencils. And this whole piece was done entirely with the oil pastel. Every bit of color, every stencil was made with that technique. So in a minute, I have prepared a video to let you watch and see how you can do this. I think you'll find it fun and interesting. There's a lot of information coming up. Alright, Boudreaux, if you would go to the video, please.
In screen printing, the artist applies a stencil to a piece of fabric stretched over a wooden frame. The stencil blocks all openings except the image area. A sheet of paper is placed under the screen, and a bead of ink is applied along the top. The artist pulls the ink across the screen with a squeegee, forcing it through the open areas and onto the paper below. To begin making the screen, a fine mesh fabric, such as silk, cotton, or in this case, a polyester monofilament, is sized to the wooden frame. The artist stretches the fabric and staples it securely to the frame. Next, she hammers the staples to the frame to tighten the working surface. The excess fabric is cut away. Finally, the edges are taped to prevent any ink from leaking onto the paper or printing surface. The screen is now ready for the artist to apply a stencil.
Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed that video. See, you can make a stencil using silkscreen with sandpaper, oil pastel, squeegee, and screen. You've just seen how to do it. That's one of our little bitty videos out of our treasure vault of art techniques. Next month, tune in and I'll show you how to do a glue negative, glue reduction stencil. There's a lot of ways to do them. That's another fun technique I want to share with you. Alright, David?
Since Charles isn't here tonight, we're just going to run a video of him showing his expertise with a wet ball of clay. Woodrow?
Hey everybody, how about that video? Don't you love the way he smashes the pot at the end? I do. Hey, Charles is good and we wanted to share that with you tonight. And like we said, he couldn't be here tonight because he's got a special project he's working on. We can't tell you what it is, but the time's coming when we will, and when we can, we're going to be glad to share it with you. I think you'll really be impressed by it.
We will have an exclusive interview about it at a later date.
Yeah, later date. We don't know when, but keep coming in and watching and you'll find out when. We got something special coming up in a minute we want to share with you. It's about an art professor that we both enjoyed the pleasure of being under as students at USA, University of South Alabama. and he also taught at Spring Hill College in Mobile, Alabama, by the name of Lee Hoffman. He passed away last year, but they're having a special retrospective show of his work at the gallery at the University of South Alabama in the art complex, and at the Icold Gallery at Spring Hill College. Simultaneously, it's going to run through the end of July. So we wanted to share a little information with you tonight on that. So Boudreaux, if you bring up those images for us. This is Lee here, and this is from his Facebook page. They do have a Facebook page where you can go to and get more information. And these are some maps that are also located on the page that will show you the locations. The left is at the University of South Alabama, the right Spring Hill College off Oak Shell Road in Mobile, Alabama. And that's actually one of the catalog, the card that went out for the show, for the opening. They had the opening this past Sunday, and David was able to go. You want to share a little bit about the opening, what you saw, David? Or?
Well, I was only able to go to one of the venues, since it was at 2. But they had a wide historical range. It probably, where I was, covered about 20 years of his watercolor paintings. The other at Spring Hill College was even earlier works, most of those done in oils, and actually some sculpture pieces, I understand.
Yeah.
So the exhibit's going to be there for the rest of, until the end of the month.
Yeah, end of July.
Yeah,
end of July, actually.
So you ought to be able to have plenty of time to get out. It's an interesting show, both of them. Mm-hmm. Lee was somebody who really did have a lot of influence on the art community in this area. He influenced probably 30 years of art students at Spring Hill and USA, and it would be well worth your time to go see the exhibits.
And like David said, he had a range of art, oils, acrylics, watercolors. He did screen printing. I had the pleasure, when I was an art student at the University of South Alabama, I got to have Lee Hoffman for painting and the screen printing, and he was a great teacher. He didn't always say a lot, but when he did, it was important. And one of the best moments I remember is watching him do a demonstration of painting a figure, a portrait of a person that was live. He did a quick painting in about 10-15 minutes, and I actually learned more watching him paint than if he'd have said anything. And I'll never forget that. It really impressed me. I learned a lot. And he was somebody, like David said, he really encouraged you. I worked my way through college, high school. I worked there actually when there was Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company, A&P. I worked there, and he would come in all the time where I was working and say, "What are you doing here? Why aren't you doing art shows?" And he was out doing art shows at the time. And he's actually one of the reasons I got involved doing art shows. I did them for 25 years, and he helped me get started. He encouraged me and helped me. And if you get a chance, go look at the man's work. It's incredible work. His work's not always blaring and brash, but if you take the time to look at it, the technique, the composition, the design, they're incredible pieces. So it'd be worth your time. Like David and I said, we hope you'll take the time to go out and look.
You could almost, I would sort of classify them as abstract realism.
Absolutely.
They appear to be realistic, but they're probably some of the best abstract paintings you can see.
Yeah, Lee Hoffman, in fact, one of the things he taught me was to see the abstract in the real, and the real in the abstract, and he did that. So we miss him. Great teacher.
Okay. The next thing we have here is a time lapse of a painting I did, and just sort of shows you the process of doing a painting from beginning to end. Go ahead and roll the video.
Hey everybody, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, that video's worth 10,000 at least. You just watched painting back here over David's shoulder. That's how he painted it, and it's like I said, that's almost like watching Lee Hoffman at work. If you'll watch that, you see how it's done. There's a lot to learn there just by watching. So that was pretty good, Dave. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we want to introduce an up-and-coming young artist, Boudreaux, our technical person who's running the show behind the scenes.
Boudreaux?
Boudreaux.
Boudreaux. Whoa, who would have thought?
Boudreaux won't let me say her real name, but we're going to see one of her pieces next.
Watercolor, isn't it?
Watercolor piece, done very recently, and I think it's been entered in a local watercolor show. So,
pretty good work, Boudreaux. Not bad.
I think if you study this piece of artwork enough, you might figure out who Boudreaux is related to.
I see Simmons' influence there myself. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I see some Kurt Thomas influence there too.
Well, not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to see some more from this artist.
And I don't have any young artists right now. My young artists have all grown up. So.
Well, very interesting. Very interesting. Nice work, Boudreaux. We like it.
Thanks.
Very good.
Everybody, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. And like we said earlier, you go to ArtStreamLIVE.com. Check out the webpage. ArtStreamLIVE on Facebook. If you want to email us, it's ArtStreamLIVE@gmail.com. Got phone numbers you can call. We're here to, any information, any questions, artwork, it's all there. All you got to do is call. We appreciate you watching. Look forward to seeing you next month. Until then, make art, be happy. Summertime is coming.
Get out and fish.
Amen.
Bye.
Bye-bye.